Everyone and welcome.
Let's start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. We are back with another video here ahead of the start of the season tomorrow, when Newcastle United take on Nottingham Forest. We did a live stream yesterday, so please go and watch that and give us a like. We were previewing the Nottingham Forest game, and today we are doing our Premier League predictions. We're going to do a prediction of how the table will look by the end of the season, and argue about who's going to finish bottom and everywhere else. So yes, we'll get right into it. I'll just share my screen and bring the table up now. Sorry, we are obviously joined by Liam, Beth, and Brandon. If you were wondering who they were, hello everyone. How are we all doing?
I'm doing all good, thank you.
I'm Sam.
And Brandon, how are we?
Yeah, not bad at all. What about yourself?
Good. I'm good. Yeah, very good. So here we have the table. We'll start with you, Brandon. Who are you got to go bottom?
Got to go bottom. I think Ball haven't been as I don't see them really.
Was that
Bournemouth?
Your mic's cutting out, mate.
Yeah, Bournemouth.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And okay, Bournemouth. Do you think you just haven't done enough in the transfer window then, Brandon?
As far now, no. I think they spent like 15 mil or something like that. They only bought Tavernier. Not really sure if they have enough yet to survive in the Premier League.
I think they're bringing.
And kind of where we were a few years ago, but we finally digged ourselves out.
Yeah, I suppose they don't have the magical Eddie Howe to keep them afloat anymore. Beth, what are your thoughts on 20th place?
Yeah, I went Bournemouth as well. I just think, like, when you look at their team, it doesn't scream Premier League quality, does it? And the business they've done is like next to nothing. And like, the player they've brought in is another Championship player. Like, it's from a Championship team, and it's just not enough, really, is it? To like, it doesn't even look like they want to stay up. Like the business they're doing.
It can all change, of course, because they still have it for 4 months. But
yeah,
it stands now.
I think they're getting close to bringing Neto in from Barcelona, their goalkeeper. Yeah. But other than that, it doesn't seem too much.
They don't show much ambition, let's say it that way.
Yeah, Liam, are you going with Bournemouth as well then?
I think I agree with pretty much everything Brandon and Beth have said. I think even if they're bringing a goalkeeper, they need a goals. They don't need a goalkeeper. They need a goal scorer. I think that's the one thing you want when you're still up is you're going to get battered week in, week out. So you want someone to be able to put in the back of the net, and I don't think they've got that. So Bournemouth for bottom for me, mate.
I think we all do agree. They've still got Dom Solanke, who's not Premier League proven, shall we say? And yeah, I think unfortunately Bournemouth will be finishing bottom. So I'll start with you now, Liam. Who do you think is going to finish 19th, just above Bournemouth?
Fulham. I think I'm going to go with Fulham. I can't really mind them making many transfers this season. If they have, they went past me radar. But I don't think they've got a lot to go off, and I think Fulham are going to go down.
Mm-hmm. Not think Mitrovic will fire them to safety.
He's had chances before in the Premier League. He had a season with us, or 2 seasons with us, and he didn't do a lot. And I think he's had another season with Fulham. He didn't do a lot. And then I think just because he got 40 goals in the Championship, I don't think he's going to do a lot. I think he's just probably a lot more mature, but probably a lot more slower at the same time. And I think teams know how to defend him.
I'm not so sure about that though. Like, if you score 40 in the Championship, that's a lot of goals. Let's be honest. And let's say he can get Premier League. We would sign a striker now that could score a third of 40 goals.
No, but not in the Championship. I couldn't care less how many goals they scored in the Championship. Do you know what I mean?
Dwight Dale
probably would have broken if he wasn't injured.
If you can score 40 in the Championship, how much he had? He always had like 8-9 goals when we played for us, right? I think he can do more this season. So
Realistically, he needs to hit double figures. Otherwise, he's always going to be that player who is far too good for the Championship and just not good enough for the Premier League, unfortunately. Beth, are you going with Fulham as well, or what do you think?
Yeah, I also went with Fulham, but they have brought in a couple of players, and they've brought in Portuguese international, I'm sure. But I just don't like. That's another team that you don't look at and think it's like quality opposition. They don't look a threat to anyone really. Like Mitrovic did score them goals, and he beat Ivan Toney's record, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ivan Toney obviously came up and he could score goals. But when you look at like the age difference and like who'd played in the Premier League before, like Mitrovic has played in the Premier League before, and his numbers weren't up there. But obviously, I always want him to do well. I would hate it if he scored against us.
Yeah, definitely. It would be. You'd rue the day. Brandon, finally, what are your thoughts on 19th?
I think they finished higher, but I can get the points. I think they just survive, but I think Mitro will perform well actually. But maybe I'm a little bit biased because I really like the player, especially when he played for us. But we'll see.
But if you had to pick someone else other than Fulham,
that would probably be.
Sorry, you've just cut out. I couldn't hear any of that.
I said Southampton.
Southampton.
They struggled. They really struggled at the end of the season, last season. In the transfer,
I think it's definitely a good shout because they've brought in 6 players and none of them have played in the Premier League before. It's definitely a shout, but I am also going to go with Fulham. I think just purely because I don't think they've quite done enough. They've brought in Leno and Palinha, but I think they've got a weak defence, and I think that's something that people will target, especially the bigger teams. I think the goal difference will be a big issue for them as well if it comes down to that. And I just think Fulham, unfortunately, will be second bottom. So the final relegated team, Beth, I'll start with you. What do you think?
I was stuck on this one, and I was stuck between Forest, Southampton, and Everton, and maybe Leeds too.
Yeah, they were my 18th around them 4.
Yeah, I can't actually decide. Like, I think we need to have like discussion on this one because I can't make a decision. Like,
I will make a case for Everton.
Yeah, Everton have like lost Richarlison.
Last
season when they stayed up, he was the only thing that was keeping them going. Like, he was like their shining light, wasn't he? And then they've brought in like Dwight McNeil and Tarkowski, but they also came from a team that just got relegated. So they're good footballers, but they might not necessarily be like enough to replace Richarlison.
I think that Dwight McNeil, I think he only scored 1 or assisted 1 all of last season. He didn't do more than that. So
even he is like a far-fetched, really. Like you don't know what he's going to do. But like Southampton as well, I think their best bit of business is keeping James Ward-Prowse. So it's not they're removing their team. Like, they haven't improved it. They've just stayed steady for me. But like last season, in the last like 12 games, they lost 9 of them.
Yeah, I think James Ward-Prowse is one of the most overrated players in the Premier League.
But if they lose him, they're done.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Everton will go down just for the sake that they don't really have a striker at the moment. Rondon is injured. Calvert-Lewin is injured now, so who they have really?
But even if Rondon's not injured, he's not going to be enough to keep them up busy.
No, I don't think Salomon Rondon.
Something more like Everton.
Like, he's a handful if you play against him. If you have to cover him, you got a shitty day. But
yeah,
he doesn't have enough goals in him, I guess. But he's
I mean, personally, I would be going for Southampton here. Obviously, we've just spoken about Southampton and Everton. Everton, a lack of goals, but Southampton, a lack of experience for me, and they were dropping like a stone, like Beth said. What is everyone's final kind of decision?
You've got to consider Leeds too, though, haven't you? Because they've just lost Calvin Phillips, and they've brought in players, but they're not Premier League proven. You don't know how they're going to cope in the Premier League.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know. I feel like they're building something there.
I feel like they've got a little bit more than the rest of the teams we're talking about right now.
Yeah, they've balanced the squad out as well. They've invested in a lot of different areas. Whereas they haven't just got one player to replace Phillips and one player to replace Rafinha.
Yeah, and it's players as well, isn't it? That Jesse Marsh knows, like players that he's worked with before. So
yeah. No, so Leeds aren't in that conversation for me.
Let's not forget. I think Leeds will still do something this coming month in the transfer window.
My final decision is Everton, but it's up to Beth really. It's her pick.
Oh, I would love to see Everton. Let's just put Everton down there because I can't stand them.
All right, we'll put Everton. We'll put Everton in.
They want.
I don't think Frank Lampard's good enough yet to manage a team in the relegation zone.
Yeah, it's like a different for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Point taken. I just think their fans will somehow, I don't know, as much as we might not like them, I think that they are committed. Anyway, who have we all got? We just spoke about Leeds and who else was it? Southampton. Who do we think is going to finish 17th?
Brandon.
Southampton.
Southampton. Yeah. Anything else?
Oh yeah, sure.
I've got like already the next two picked after that. Do you know what I mean? I'll go with Southampton. I think the lower table is just gonna mix itself around, but I would go Southampton as well.
All right, I think we'll probably all reasonably agree on that. Unless Beth, do you think Leeds?
No, I think Leeds have got a bit more than Southampton.
Okay. So I'll stick Southampton.
The last couple of games of the season, because I think all of these teams are going to be in and around it. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like someone's on 3 points and someone's on 20 points. I think the gap's going to be closer this season. I hope it is anyway.
So 16th, I think from here now we've got to start looking at, as we mentioned, Leeds. There's kind of the likes of Nottingham Forest and Brentford for me. Maybe finishing around here. Liam, I'll start with you.
I'm going to Leeds. I think they've lost probably arguably the two best players that they had in Rafinha and Phillips. I think they've replaced a couple of decent players with them, but I think it's going to be Leeds for me.
Yeah, well, they brought in a Sinistera who Brandon might be able to tell us a little bit about, and they might. For all we know, he might get injured a lot again. But Patrick Bamford looks to be fully fit for the upcoming season as well. Who I think he's got 18 in their first season back in the Premier League.
I think that was a fluke. That first season was a fluke.
He's got that experience though. I'm not too sure. Beth, who have you got for 16th? Have you got Leeds as well?
Yeah, I'd go Leeds. I think the thing with Nottingham Forest is I think they're a bit like us, they're fans. I think they'll make a bigger difference, especially when they're so buzzing to be back up in the league. So I think. But
do you not think that about Leeds, or do you think it's more the bounce of Forest coming back?
Yeah, and Steve Cooper is a very good manager.
Okay. Well, if there's no problems there, I'll pop Leeds into 16th. Right then, Beth, 15th.
This has got to be Nottingham Forest, hasn't it? We can't go any higher up the table than this. We're having a bit of a mess around now, aren't we? I totally forgot about them, and now we're getting up the table. I'm like,
that. To be fair, this is probably perfect how I would predict the table so far.
I cannot say the same, but if we're all agreeing on Nottingham Forest.
I think they've done some really good business, But obviously they've brought in a lot of players that haven't had the time to gel and stuff. So it's either going to it's either going to be brilliant business and everyone's going to be like, wow, look at them, or it's going to be absolutely appalling and they're not going to win in like the first 10 games or something.
Yeah, they brought in Awoniyi, I think, is their striker from 15 goals in the Bundesliga. So yeah, that's all I've got. Stick Forest in, what is that, 15th then. So who's that
Well,
last
then, Harry,
spot?
you can pick the next one, seeing as you didn't agree with the rest of them.
No, to be fair, I agree with most of it. It's just I would put Everton up a little bit. But to be fair, I would love to see him go down too.
I don't know if it's us like hating Everton.
I think we just haven't got a striker of there. I think that's the problem. Like, if you get off to a bad start, like if you look at us, we didn't win till 15 games in.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not like Everton are going to get like a raft of money in January. Like, what was it, 100 million we spent? It's not like they're going to spend that on decent players. They've spent $500 million on crap, really.
Yeah.
Their hope is always Rich Allison, hasn't it? And now he's gone. So
yeah, I get your points. I don't necessarily think they're going to go down. But next up, I think is probably going to be, Wolves. I think they haven't really done much in the transfer market, and I think they're just quite a negative team, and I just don't think it's going to work out for them this season. I think 14th is probably about fair for them.
I would have chosen Brentford actually now, but.
I think my choice was Brentford. Like, go with Brentford.
Okay.
I think last season Wolves played really well. I think they're not in the top half.
They died off later in the season.
Didn't we finish above them? I think we just finished above them and we were in 11th.
Mine's also Brentford, because you've got to consider you got to consider, like, in the second half of the season as well, they had Christian Eriksen and now he's gone.
Yeah. No, to be fair,
I actually heard an interesting statement as well. I can't remember where it was, but they said, I think it was TalkSport actually. They said, like, you got that good season after promotion, but to stay in for the second season, that's going to be the most challenging.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where is Brentford now. And if they can stay up, hats off. Or if they can end higher, but it's going to be a tough season, I think.
Yeah. I think they've brought a few defenders in. They brought a new keeper as well, Strakosha and Aaron Hickey. But I think they are lacking a bit of creativity and goals up top.
They've brought Ben Mee in as well, haven't they? I think.
Yeah.
But they're lacking creativity, aren't they? Like, Christian Eriksen made such a difference in that team because there was not much like to offer, and that's why he's a fabulous footballer. But he shined brighter in that team because of like everyone else, and they have to.
Sorry, the only person who really can get Brentford higher up is probably Ivan Toney, and he doesn't even really want to be at the team. So.
Yeah, and if there's no one as well, like creating like play for him and stuff, and like open up to the play for Ivan Toney, then it might even make him look a little bit bad as well. So,
yeah, I think he got 12 last season, Ivan Toney, and half of them were penalties. So, don't know what you make of that, but I think I don't think he's obviously. I think he's probably better than his numbers might suggest, but. Just needs a bit more creativity. Anyway, we'll move on to next. Liam, I'll start with you. Who do you think's 13th?
Leicester.
Yeah.
They've lost the goalkeeper. They could be losing James Maddison to us. I don't think they've got much money because of FFP. And I just think Vardy's starting to get a lot older. Tielemans could also be on his way out.
Fofana,
I think Leicester is the one for me.
They're lucky if Vardy even plays 50% of the games.
What, sorry?
Leicester should be happy if Vardy plays 50% of the games.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a bit easier for him to stay fit this year, though, with them not being in the Europa League or Conference League or anything.
Yeah.
But Brandon, who do you think? Do you think Leicester as well as well as the other two guys.
That would be my pick. Aye.
No,
Leicester.
Leicester are not my pick. You know, I went for Crystal.
Are they not?
No, I went
Okay.
for I only
Palace.
went for Palace as well because last season a lot of the play came from Conor Gallagher, and a lot of their goals came from him. Like the creativity came from him, and like when you look at a team, he was like the biggest threat. Like I don't care what Zaha does. Like he like looked unreal in that team, and obviously they don't have him anymore. And
So making a case for Leicester in 13 instead of your Crystal Palace. Don't you think Vieira improved that squad during the season more, and maybe can get that going in next season?
Yeah, he could do, to be fair, but I don't know now. I can't decide between both of them.
Well, what do you think, Harry?
I don't think Leicester will be 13th. I don't think. It really just depends on transfers. This Leicester one, so it's a bit difficult.
As it stands right now, what would you go with?
As it stands, I think Leicester still finished 9th, 8th minimum. So I would probably go for Crystal Palace. I think. Other than that, it'd be Brighton or Wolves. But you make good points about Palace. I don't think Palace have brought in many players as well. I might be wrong. I know they brought in Decore.
Correct.
They brought in Decore and they brought in Sam Johnston.
Yeah.
And Decore.
Yeah.
Who? Sorry.
They bought in Decore. He's a good player.
Yeah. So,
Conor Gallagher is a massive miss for them. Like,
you
can't ignore that.
Yeah, I do fundamentally agree. He's obviously gone back to Chelsea, hasn't he? So two of us for Palace, and two of us for Leicester.
We got a problem.
We do have a problem.
Well, it's my pick, so it's Leicester.
Leicester. All right, Liam rules.
Oh wait a minute.
No. For once, Brandon and Liam agreeing on something,
which is probably a bad sign.
That means we're right, by the way.
Yeah.
Right, Beth, we'll move on to 12th. Are you going to stick Palace in here?
This has got to be Palace, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've got no further comments to make.
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
Brandon. Palace.
Yeah.
All for Palace, right?
Ooh, I feel like we forgot Brighton. I don't think Brighton will be this high.
Villa.
I didn't forget Brighton. I think Brighton. I think this is where we stick Brighton in.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think 11th is fair for Brighton.
But you've got to consider with Brighton though. They've lost Basuma, haven't they?
Lost Basuma, lost Cucurella. I think they finished 10th last year.
They were struggling to score goals, and now they've brought in that player they signed in January, and he scored 27 goals in 41 appearances last season. He's got like Undaz or something like that.
Undav, yeah.
Well, why don't I just stick Brighton here? I think everyone unanimously agrees.
Yeah.
Brighton for 11th. Fine with you, Brandon?
Yeah.
I think it's scaring me that we haven't seen a Newcastle badge yet. Like this is getting a bit insane.
This is when it gets clipped and put on Talk Sport that we've put in Newcastle top on.
You'll see us all over the Mail tomorrow, won't you? Like Newcastle fans being ridiculous again.
Or the end of the season, this can really backfire to us. But
we'll probably be bomb.
we have to delete this video if so.
At least the video will blow up. We put us up top and it's finished bottom. Right, where are we next? We're number 10.
On Brighton though, I think it's a massive miss that they missed Bissouma. That's one of the key players, and it will be interesting how they will proceed without him. But
yeah,
totally agree. Yeah, keeps him ticking in that middle, doesn't he? He did anyway. Brandon, your pick then. We'll go with 10th.
Must be Wolves.
Wolves? Yeah. I think that's a fair shout. Anyone disagree?
No, I went Wolves as well.
I think, like you guys were saying, it's just not entertaining team at all. Doesn't have much creativity, but like a little bit of a boring team, really. Like they're always there, but I don't know. 10.
Yeah.
I think like their best bit of business as well as being like another centre back, so it's not going to get any more exciting, is it, from here so far?
Which is their best buy in this transfer window.
Yeah.
Not sure if you're gonna. It's okay, but good business, I guess.
Right. So Wolves. Sorry, go on.
No, I wanted to say I'm more happy with or more content with Botman instead of Collins, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Botman's more, I don't know, more exciting because he's from your native Dutch, Brandon. Anyway, we'll move on to ninth. We've obviously got the big six and Newcastle, West Ham, and Villa left. I think, Beth, it's your pick, but I'll just start off by saying I think it's time we put Villa in. Do you not?
Yeah, I think I'd go Villa because on my original, I had Leicester, but obviously it depends what business everyone does. But as it stands right now, it's got to be Villa, hasn't it? They can't go any higher up the table because it's a crime for us putting them this high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Villa are a good team, and I think they've got a good manager and an all right manager, and I think they'll be just one place below us.
Yeah, I think they've done some good business getting in Carlos, and they got Kamara. I think a couple of other players as well.
Coutinho signed like properly as well. He's just on loan.
Sign it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all agree it's a Villa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favourite part of that was? Liam said, "Oh, they've got a good manager," and he went, "Well, an all right manager."
Definitely not backtracking.
That's why I said, do they need though? Because we were probably in for the Gerrard, and we ended up with Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Knowing now, I'm really happy we went with Eddie Howe, or maybe Gerrard rejected us. Doesn't matter though. We got Eddie, and more than happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie
yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Sorry, I was just telling everyone how much I love Eddie Howe.
I was going to do the same. Right then, Newcastle or West Ham, realistically, unless anyone thinks different.
It's got to be Newcastle, hasn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, especially when you look at like the business West Ham are doing. Like they beat us earlier on. Like Skamaka, like everyone, like their original squad as well before this window was stronger than ours. Like,
and they managed to keep Rice as well, which is amazing. I think.
Yeah, and
Moyes is a very good manager as well. Moyes
to get in Cornet.
Yeah,
we got a centre back who's already got injured, but Aguerd.
I would say as it stands now, yeah. But if you can get a good striker and a good winger, I'm not so sure, but. We still need to get them in, though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think as it stands, we will put Newcastle in 8th. But if to be fair, if we did get James Maddison in, I could see it being more of a challenge between us and West Ham.
And a striker.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we all agreeing on sticking West Ham in 7th then?
No.
Yeah. No. Are you going Man United?
Yeah,
actually.
I was stuck between Man United and West Ham, for this one.
Erik ten Hag is going to bottle it. And loads of players he worked with from the Eredivisie, Dutch League. It hasn't mostly really worked out for the Dutch. You got the odd ones like Wijnaldum and everything that turned out well, but I think it's a big risk by Man United to leave Erik ten Hag getting all these Dutch players in. I think it's going to backfire on them. They're all praising him now with his training style or whatever, but the Dutch League and the Premier League is such a high difference. I think you'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've got a bit more faith in him than you guys do. Not that
they've had every world-class manager and they're just not happy. It's because they've got too many bad eggs as well, though, in their team.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
like
but
when you look at them now and the way the players are behaving, like leaving at half time, like the situation with Ronaldo, clearly like their dressing room hasn't been sorted and that situation hasn't resolved itself. So you've got to consider that because that's always their downfall.
I think it's got a bit better though with Pogba leaving and Lingard, people like that. I don't know. I think it's obviously improving, but it's classic Man United. They bring a manager in, have a good first season, and then slowly the owners start to wreak havoc. Anyway,
Do the
I
owners
think
wreak
this-
havoc? Do they actually wreak havoc? Because I'm sure they get an awful lot of money every season to spend on players, and they just buy dross.
It's yeah, but it's always something that the fans complain about, isn't it? They like
Well,
to
that
blame
owner
their
gives the
owners.
money to spend on players, and the club just wastes it. What a bad thing! Do you know what I mean? Like look at Sanchez and Pogba. How much was that? How much did you waste? Like 200 million there plus the wages. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We as Newcastle
Fair point,
United
fair
make
point.
much more sensible signings, more well thought, I guess, as well. We don't really buy names; we buy players who would fit immediately into the squad.
Yeah.
The thing with Man United is, I think it's the dressing room is gonna turn really toxic in the end, because you got already a few who are toxic, and if there are some players that are not gonna play often, it's gonna turn also with them toxic. I think it's gonna turn out really bad, but I'm not gonna say I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm right.
So
I just
Brandon,
think mentality at West Ham is better than at Man United.
100%.
so are you all going with West Ham then? Sorry, Man United in 7th.
Yeah, because I think obviously like your sporting ability like is like one half of it, but your mentality is another half, and the West Ham players seem to have their heads screwed on a little bit more, don't they?
Mm.
Look at us in the winter transfer window. We didn't buy big players besides like Guimaraes and Trippier, but they were not really known before. Well, of course, Trips did, but that was our biggest name who we signed. We just really made good signings, and Eddie Howe made it a real team, and that worked out. You see how they turn out. So I would put Man U in.
Yeah, I suppose, but they haven't really signed egos this window, have they?
Yeah, but they've still got some, haven't they, from the last 10 or something.
Yeah.
You probably
Yeah, I
got the biggest
suppose so.
ego of all the football players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll put them in 7th. I probably would have put them in 5th and 6th, but I've been overruled. Who are we having? West Ham in 6th then, or Brandon? We'll go to you.
No, I think West Ham, 100%.
Yeah.
I think you could toss this up between 5th and 6th between West Ham and Arsenal. To be fair,
I think Arsenal looks really good pre-season, and the signings they made so far.
the bottle jobs have proved it for the last 20 years. They just want our bottle jobs.
I get what you mean, but I also don't. I'm not backing Chelsea.
Yeah, I was going to say the same about Chelsea. I would put Arsenal further up the table than Chelsea.
I think we'll do these two together. We'll do 5th and 6th together. I think we're probably all going to say West Ham in 6th.
Yeah.
I think 5th is Chelsea. I really do.
But I think I've been outvoted, so it's probably going to have to be Chelsea. So,
Brandon, your thoughts on 5th?
Yeah, I would agree with Chelsea because they don't really have a striker, do they? They probably play Raheem Sterling on top.
I think Havertz.
Havertz, yeah.
I think Sterling will get. I think he'll get goals, but I just don't think that they're having a lot of changes. They're reorganising the whole defence, and lost to Arsenal 4-0 in pre-season, and I just don't.
Rudiger,
he
was massive for Chelsea. Rudiger was
Yeah.
he was a rock at the back and going forward as well. He got them goals.
But Chelsea
Yeah.
don't really have out-and-out striker like we have with Wilson, like he's a real striker. Havertz, I don't know. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but it's not an out-and-out striker in my opinion.
Yeah, and as he the finished article, he hasn't had a a proper good season for Chelsea yet, where you think, oh, he's done brilliant. So moving on, fourth. We'll start with fourth. Beth.
I went for Arsenal here.
Arsenal.
I think their business this window has been really good. Like that's the kind of window you'd want your team to have. Like it's been good and it's worked for them in pre-season, but I don't see them beating Tottenham. Like the business they've done is even better, and Conte is just a very good manager, isn't he?
Yeah, I completely agree. Jesus and Zinchenko
and
Fabio Vieira.
Yeah.
I think they'll finish fourth. Liam, I know you wanted them in fifth, was it? Brandon, Arsenal in fourth. Are you happy with that?
Well, I think they have more than Chelsea, but they just don't have more than Tottenham, Man City, and Liverpool.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think we'll speak about Spurs, but I just think we'll all agree Spurs finished third, I think. Yeah.
But you've got you're saying you're worried about Brighton because of Basuma, but then he's gone to Tottenham, and you're worried about Everton because of Richarlison, and he's gone to Tottenham, and and Perisic or whatever he is as well. Like they've brought in some very good players, and Conte is a very good manager.
Yeah.
Richarlison, he's probably not even going to be starting their games, but the money they've paid for him, that shows that they mean business and they're ready to compete.
Yeah, for once it looks like Spurs are actually trying in the transfer market and have done really good business. Conte has obviously won the Premier League before, done really well at Chelsea. I think Spurs are going to be meaning business this season.
It's probably.
Sorry, Brandon.
I think the best signing that Tottenham made this season, that was on a free. That was Perisic.
Yeah.
Didn't pay now for him, and I think he will probably out. Like they spent what 50 mil on Richarlison. How much on Bissouma? 20, 25? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so.
With me, the top three could interchange so much. I think they've all got world-class strikers and they've all got world-class managers. So I think the top three could. I wouldn't. You could argue that Spurs could even nick it because they've got a good manager now and they've made some decent signings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I cannot see a world where Spurs come second or win the league. You know what I mean? It's just too Spursy, aren't they? I'm sure Arsenal fans will love that.
Plus, we all naming Richarlison, but don't forget they still have Harry Kane as well.
Yeah.
Richarlison will be second striker.
And Kulusevski, he looked a proper player last season.
Son is incredible. I don't know how he didn't make the Premier League Team of the Year last year. Like his goals and assists. It's a very good footballer.
Yeah. Right. Well, we've come down to the final two. So, Brandon, who do you think is going to win the league?
I think it's going to be Man City just again.
Yeah, I'm gone Man City. Like,
it's going to be tense against Haaland and everything. I know Liverpool signed Nunez, but he's not. I rate Haaland a little bit better. I'm not just going off strikers though, of course, but I think just Man City just a little bit more.
Yeah, Beth, what's your thoughts?
No, I agree with that. And like, Man City had lost Fernandinho, didn't they? But now they've got Phillips in his place, and he's a very good footballer as well. So you can't argue about it. Like, they've both lost players, but they've replaced them with very quality additions. But overall, Man City, they've just got to win it, haven't they? They're a lot stronger for me.
They've just got strength and depth all over the pitch.
Yeah.
2 players in every position. It's their midfield and attack is ridiculous, really.
I think like the 5 sub thing as well this season is going to work a lot in Pep's favour.
Yeah, completely.
Just
Liam-
while we're on predicting the team, it just came up that Darren Bent from 8th went West Ham in 8th, 7th Newcastle, 6th Man U, 5th Spurs, 4th Chelsea, 3rd Arsenal, 2nd Liverpool, and 1st Man City.
What was
Is he
that?
all right?
That was Darren Bent, yeah.
Man alive. Well, Liam, I never
Man
got your. Why do you think City will win the league, Liam?
I think they've just got quality everywhere. I think they've got quality and depth. I think that's maybe where Liverpool are slightly lacking, is they haven't got the depth that City have got. I think if you look at every position, Man City have got someone else that could come in and score goals or come in and do a job for them. I don't think Liverpool have got that everywhere. I think even at some points last season, I think if Salah and Jota got injured or Mane got injured, I think that would have rocked them for the rest of the season. But I think if that similar thing happened to City, they would find a way they would find a player that would win them the game.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy thing with Man City is as well, if they change their whole starting 11, they still beat probably almost all teams in the league. You know.
I think as well, like Origi on the bench for Liverpool, he came on, he scored them goals.
Yeah.
And now he's gone. And Mane as well, he was an unreal player for Liverpool. And now he's gone.
Yeah, City have obviously also bought in Haaland and Alvarez. They've got actual strikers now. Just forced to be reckoned with.
Who do you think is going to be the better striker though? Like, who's going to score more goals out of the two new signings for City and Liverpool? Is it Haaland or Nunez?
Haaland. I don't think Nunez will start that many, me.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, I think it's Haaland. I think Liverpool have got other options through the middle. That they might start Jota or Firmino over Nunez, just ease him into it.
I would say Haaland as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Because
No,
he gets
no,
so much
go on.
distribution, you know, from the flanks through everywhere basically, and he's just a finisher. Easy.
Yeah, no matter how Man City are playing, like if it's like passing round or it's balls over the top, Haaland can play that type of football. Like his build, you wouldn't think he can run and play on the ground as well as he can. He's really good at it. Or like cross the ball in, he can do that as well. Like long ball over the top, he can do that. Like he's a very versatile striker, isn't he? And his talent is unbelievable.
Yeah. Just an extra one I'll chuck in. Who do you think is going to get the golden boot? I'll start with Liam and we'll go down.
Salah.
Mine's Miggy Almiron.
Does it has to be from the Prem?
Yeah, Premier League golden boot.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to go for Haaland.
Yeah, I would actually go with that. Miggy second. Very close. Last day of the season. One of them's going to outdo each other.
To go with Liam, actually, Salah.
Yeah.
Again tonight. Feeling weird.
It's worrying me.
Yeah.
That means it's definitely not going to be Salah. Right. Any closing thoughts from anyone as we approach the end?
No.
Thanks everyone. Like and subscribe.
Exactly. Thank you very much for joining us for another video on Newcastle Fans TV. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more fantastic content. We'll have all the videos at the ground tomorrow following the Nottingham Forest game. So please join us for those too. And thank you very much for joining us. See you all later.